Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank the honourable member for his question. Madam Speaker, the current constraints at Nassori Airport is fundamentally the length of the runway at Nadi Airport. Nadi Airport, Madam Speaker, like all the other airports in Fiji, does not make a, Nassori Airport, I should say. Nassori Airport, like all the other airports in Fiji, apart from Nadi, does not make a profit, essentially because of the economies of scale in these airports. Now, the Nassori Airport, Madam Speaker, currently, for example, the largest aircraft that lands there is the 737-800 that has the direct flights to Sydney and also to Auckland. However, Madam Speaker, this aircraft actually flies also on a not a full load because of the length of the runway. The current runway length is about 1,868 meters and 30 meters wide. The ideal length for the 737 operations and full load capacity is 2,100 meters. So this is why all these years when it's been flying, it does not take a full load, which needs the longer runway. So, Madam Speaker, the AFL, in conjunction with government, and we've been talking about this for the past couple of years, the idea is to, in fact, increase the length of the runway to get full capacity, and indeed, if we were able to acquire enough land, we can get even the A330s at some point in time in the future to land. The current projections, Madam Speaker, by Fiji Airways and Air New Zealand is that by 2023 we will possibly have about 8 international flights using such aircraft, which is the 737, landing into Nassori at maximum capacity because of the traffic. As we know that most of the air traffic in Fiji arises because of our tourism, which is fundamentally in the western side of Fiji. But of course, we have to also recognize the fact that the major proportion of the Fijian population actually is between the Nassori-Lamy corridor. Some estimates is approximately about 300,000 Fijians live in this area. Madam Speaker, the negotiations for the extension of the runway means the negotiations for the Itaukei lease of land required for the expansion of the Nassori Airport. It began actually a few years back, Madam Speaker, and from the village of Nasalai and 3 of the landowning units from Natongandravu. And the negotiations are still going on. Some of the leases will need to be leased through the Itaukei Lands Trust Board, and the others is, of course, through the Ministry of Lands, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Floor for submission. Honourable Noakula.
The government paid $1 million for the acquisition of the leases from the native owners, as opposed to the $5 million valuation conducted by the native owners.
Madam Speaker, the entire acquisition is not completed. Honourable Noakula does know that, because if the entire acquisition had been completed, enough lands had been acquired, we would actually started the works on the runway. So there are certain negotiations that are going on. Madam Speaker, what is also really interesting is that we discovered that, and we've informed AFL, that as part of this overall acquisition, we need to also correct the ills of the past. The current Nassori Airport site was acquired during the colonial government days on the 1st of January 1951. The lease issued was for 99 years at £66 per annum with no right of reassessment. And no government has actually corrected that. During the colonial days, nor the Alliance government, nor the Rambuka government, nor the SDL government. We are actually going to correct that, Madam Speaker. So what we are going to do, Madam Speaker, is apart from this peppercorn rent that has been paid, as was paid for the mahogany leases also, Madam Speaker, we are going to correct this. And Honourable Noakula, and I'm sure Honourable Kiliraki also knows, there are different parcels of land. Currently there are negotiations going on in respect of the different parcels of land that are actually held by the different landowning units. And we hope to get, Madam Speaker, some compensation that's amenable to both parties actually down on the ground, and some agreement on that. Madam Speaker, it is also quite disturbing to note that some lawyers, as we've seen not just in Nassori, but in other parts of whenever we have land acquisitions and negotiations, turn up and give huge skewed levels of compensation through the landowning units that needs to be paid. In one of the instances, Madam Speaker, we had a claim of $50 million in the negotiations. Obviously, no developer, including AFL, can come up front with $50 million. What we have said, Madam Speaker, and many of these lawyers who go around putting wrong ideas into people's head, should not be looking at, Madam Speaker, a lump sum upfront and an astronomical amount. What they should be thinking about is that you get a reasonable market assessment done, and to see how you can get reassessment done every 3 or 5 years. Based on the market value of the land, it will increase. We'd rather have more money paid over the years as opposed to a lump sum now and then small piddly amounts for the next 99 years. That's what they need to understand, Madam Speaker. They're just living for the moment. We want to think about the future generations. Need to look at the market rentals too, Madam Speaker, and a market assessment of the rentals to be paid in the future. That has been one of the problems, Madam Speaker. It's not just to do with Nosori, other parts of Viti Levu and Vanua Levu, and all these lawyers come around, a lot of them actually operate the office from the boot of their cars, some of them operate from the suitcases, some of them sit around in dolphins, and they operate from there, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, this has been an issue. We want to ensure that we pay the right market value to the landowners. The other point that also needs to be noted, many of these people who become advisors, Madam Speaker, of the landowners, don't actually tell them that once you, for example, get an international, full international sized airport at Nosori, it automatically increases the value of the land around that airport. Automatically increases the value of the land around the airport. In Tailevu, in Rewa, more people want to live there. If you have international flights coming in, more people want to live near the airport. There'll be commercial transactions, more freight companies will come in. Enormous opportunities for the landowning unit members. So, Madam Speaker, we need to look at this holistically. We are very keen, as part of the National Development Plan also, we're urging AFL to finalize it. And of course, as we've seen in the case that many of the airports in Fiji that actually have been leased to the Ministry of Lands, and then they sublease it to AFL. We're looking at that relationship too, Madam Speaker. And the other point, of course, Madam Speaker, is that we need to be able to position Nosori Airport very quickly. As we've mentioned earlier on, we've got a 4-lane road that goes all the way to Nosori. We want to, of course, position Suva as not just the capital of Fiji, but as the capital hub of the Pacific. So it's very important for us to be able to get more international flights coming through. Notwithstanding the fact that there may not be enough traffic to drive up profits at Nosori Airport on a standalone basis, but the fact of the matter is that we actually will be building for the future. And we hope that all parties involved will be able to look at the future and how we can actually provide more benefits, not just for the landowners there, but also for the entire economy and those people living in that Delta area. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.